When you're on a date, who should pay?
Hey, I'm Luke, and there's this old video I found on the internet, and I wanted to share it with you and share my thoughts.
Let's have one more question. We had this person at the back in the stripes. Yeah, let's hear from you.
During the dating period, after like 4 or 5 months of dating, I just wondering at what point do you have to pay, did the woman have to pay when they go out? The guy is asking that there should be half and half at that point when you already...
At what point?
When you already been dating for 4 or 5 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, okay, to give you a quick answer on, firstly, I think we should just deal with the who should pay thing to begin with. When you're on a date, who should pay?
I agree that men should pay for the date. If the man invited the woman to the date, then he should pay. If the woman invited the man out, then she could offer to pay. I think that's courteous, but the man should still pay. I think it's more of a provider role of the man to pay, and it's more of a leading role, and it really puts both people in their masculine and feminine essence. Now, if you're sitting at dinner and you get the bill, and that bill stresses you out financially as a man, then maybe you're not prepared to be dating this type of woman yet, because it's going to put a lot of stress on you, and it's probably later down the track going to mean you're compromising your values or sacrificing yourself in order to be in this hypothetical possible relationship. It's probably better if financial bills around paying for dinners stress you out. You're probably better just to focus on yourself, create more financial success and abundance, so then you're not stressed out when you take the woman out, and she can feel safe and you feel a lot more comfortable that this thing has a potential to be a healthy long-term thing. A dinner bill should not stress you out financially.
I told him, I'm sorry, but say I'm dating. We're dating.
But here's the
gentleman here.
Yeah, okay.
Pay.
He's supposed to pay.
Yeah. That's
but you're supposed to have sex with him whenever he says.
No. Whenever. Whoa.
Where does this double standard come from? I'm sorry. It's the reality. You guys can. All
right. I think this is Matt Hussey in his younger days. It was from 8 years ago. I don't know if he stands by this now, but my opinion for sure is I disagree that a woman is not obligated to give a man sex just because he pays for the date. She can show up, she can have fun, she can be herself, and that's really all that's required, is for the woman to be herself. And there's no obligation here. I think that's a destructive thing to believe, and I think no one is obligated to do anything in this life. You should only do what you want and honor yourself. And guys should not expect a woman to give him sex just because you've paid. And I think it would cause her to resent him as well if she was to have sex with him from that place, that she's being owned or controlled by someone else to do things that she doesn't want to do.
Well, you want? But the moment you say to a guy, you have to fucking pay for my time, you're saying this relationship isn't equal. This relationship isn't equal. My time is worth more than yours, so you should pay for it. I wonder what paradigm that sets up.
Right. So I think that people's time, or people in general, men have certain benefits or gifts, and then I think women have certain benefits or gifts, and they're different. I don't like to frame men and women as being equal. I like to frame it as them both having different gifts that they bring to the table, and I don't think you want to set up an equality frame, because I think that can depolarize and create a lack of chemistry or start to threaten the chemistry between two people.
The guy, and you don't offer to pay your share, you weren't taught right. If you go on a date...
I don't know if you can blame your parents for doing something or not doing something, and I think you can choose to be the person that you want to be. Once again, it is polite, it is courteous to offer. I think it makes men feel like you're not just wanting us for money, And that's really positive that you're not choosing us just because we have money. And a conscious man or a gentleman will still pay and love the gesture that you have offered. But I don't think you should be blaming your parents or saying that you weren't brought up right if you haven't done that. It's your choice, the person that you want to be at any time.
You go on a date and he doesn't pay, he wasn't taught right. I can tell you right.
So once again, I don't want people to be blaming their parents about how they were taught or not taught. I just think that people have the ability to educate themselves and not be blaming your parents. I don't think that's empowering. I think you should just choose a set of values for yourself that work for you.
I can tell you right now, if I was dating someone and they never offered to pay, I wouldn't be dating them. I can tell you that now. If they never offered to pay, I would not be dating them because I'd say this is the most polite they're ever going to be. And they're not even trying to...
I think I would feel something similar. I would probably feel a little bit scared if I had been dating someone for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, or maybe even 2 months, and not once they offered. I would be a little bit concerned or possibly scared that this person is wanting me for money, or it's something where they may not be wanting me for me. And I think just the gesture or offering goes a long way for a woman. And the right man is going to still pay. So don't be scared by offering. If you offer and the guy says, oh yeah, great, you're going to pay now, or you should pay, and it became some consistent thing, or beyond your threshold of what you thought was fair or reasonable, or you don't want to be paying at all, then you should stick to your values and you just find out who the man is. And that's a good thing.
And they're not even trying to pay now. What does that say about my future? But let me come at this from a different angle. I will always treat my partner how I would treat my best friend. And I wouldn't apply a different standard to my partner than my best friend. I wouldn't say to my best friend, let's always go out to dinner and you always pay. I'd say, let's be teammates here in whatever way we can. And maybe, by the way, proportionately, what you can do is less than what he can do. That's a different thing. If he says to you, I want to go stay at the top hotel.
I think being teammates is a good idea. I think you should approach everything as a team in a relationship. Now, the woman might not have a job at all, or might not be earning good money at all. And so even if you offer as the woman, you really would want the man to pay, or would hope that he would pay, because you can't afford that. And he probably should know that when he gets in a relationship with you, what you can afford or can't afford. And as a team, he wouldn't ask you to pay for something that you can't afford. If he knew that you had the ability to pay for an ice cream or something like that and you offered, he'd probably feel like a team, and maybe he might let you do something small. And I think that's a healthy way to approach things, but it's in proportion and it's as a team, and it's something that's sustainable.
Sir, this weekend, and it's $1,500 a night, and you say, I don't have the money. It's his job to say, it doesn't matter. I didn't do it so you could pay. I did it because I want to go and I want to take you. Great. That's what that is, right? Or if you both agree to go on holiday and you have a fifth of his earning potential, you say, I want to contribute to a fifth of this holiday. It's overly simplistic, but you get what I'm saying, right? I will contribute on the level I can contribute. Let me tell you what means something to a guy. Trying. That means something to a guy. When he feels that you're not even trying to contribute, that's when he feels used.
Yeah, it does become a red flag for sure if the woman never offers to pay or never offers to give some form of energy that we value. And we start to think that you just want us for money or not for who we are. And so it does become scary, and we do start to lose trust in the relationship sometimes if we think that if we've seen you, that you've never offered to pay. And it can make us feel used. So definitely it's a good gesture to offer in proportion, and it's up to him whether he wants to do it or not.
Because any guy who's really confident and self-respecting, if the woman never is even trying to contribute, he feels like he's being taken advantage of. And it has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the lack of gesture. So I would be looking at, if you like this guy, maybe if you're in different positions, figure out what you want to contribute proportionately or what you can contribute proportionately, and treat him as you would your best friend.
Yeah, I think having open, honest conversations with the person you're with is very important. If you just push it down or suppress it, then that can manifest into something else. And yeah, my final conclusion is use that gesture or give that gesture of offering. And if he's a actual man or a conscious man or someone who's really owning his life, he's going to pay. And the only other exception that would happen to this, if it was he felt that he didn't want to feel used or he didn't want to feel that it was just taken advantage of, he may let you pay for some small things in proportion. And that's a sign of him loving you or caring for you or wanting to be with you, because he wants to feel that with you, that you generally want him for him.